Yo. Welcome back, NSDC Podcast. As always with the homies Elusive and Sergio.
What up?
What's going on?
What up, boys? Been 2 weeks,
man.
dog.
Oof. Yeah.
Someone catch a cold, you know what I mean? Some people catching colds out here.
Oh, is that what it is? Colds?
No, I didn't catch anything. I'm just saying.
Nah, that's all me, bro. I had to take a week off. It was almost 2 weeks off. I ain't gonna lie.
Why is that? Can you explain?
I mean, last week we did back-to-back pods. It's just,
We did.
Oh, wow. You hear that? True Blue is blaming you for the fact that we missed them.
Nah, I had nothing else to talk about. Nothing relevant, you know.
Yeah, he did do a good episode with us, so he did have a lot of good questions for sure.
That was a fun talk. No one listened to it. Make sure y'all check out the True Blue Collectibles YouTube. We had the nostalgia talk, the hobby hangout series he's doing. That was
Had me in
fun.
my feelings for a little bit. I ain't gonna bullshit you, Nate. I don't appreciate it. But shout out to you.
It was fun, which I heard from people. People enjoyed that. People enjoyed that talk.
Nice.
Who would have thought that, all this subwoofer talk was going to get a lot of men in the 30s nostalgia.
Shout out to Charles, aka the She-Hulk collector.
Yeah, for sure. Then this week, I hit y'all over on Monday, Tuesday. I'm like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
Lately, it's nothing exciting to talk about personally, just how I'll be feeling.
And he pretty much sounded the same way, or his text sounded the same way he's talking. So I was like, no, I don't want any hostages, dog. You know what I mean? I don't hold anybody hostage.
Yeah.
Like, you want it or you don't.
Right away, Elusive took it personal.
No, I was just telling you what it is.
It's not. It wasn't. Yeah, it's just me. The vibes were off. Vibes were off for me. I needed that break.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, they're still not 100% there. Like I'm still, it's. I've been feeling a little burnt out by the hobby.
It sounds like you might need a cat like Sergio. You know what I mean? You need
I'm good.
You need a service animal, dog.
Nah, I don't need no other additional hobbies. But shout out to all the cat owners. You know what I mean? No hate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. And I think later on in the week I was feeling a little different. Like, yeah, let's just keep it going. Let's just hang out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna bring anything relevant this week. If anyone's waiting for me to,
I mean, this ain't the 6 o'clock news.
Yeah, if anyone's waiting for me to bring anything exciting, I'm sorry to let y'all down. This is more of me just hanging out with the homies. And of course, we're gonna shit talk. We got a lot of stuff that later on in the week happened, which was interesting, at least engaging shit that happened. But for the most part, we're just checking the vibes this week.
No, for sure. And with Sergio, look, the reason he's always excited, like there's always some shit going on in Florida. You know what I mean? Some hurricanes, some this, that.
Oh, bro, yeah. First and foremost, like anyone who's dealing with the hurricane right now or the aftermath, definitely prayers out to you and your family. It's I know a couple homies who had to evacuate. So I mean, above everything, hope everyone's doing well.
No, of course, man. That's I would say that's always the most important.
Yeah.
Your health, your family, stuff like that. That always comes first, man. So, yeah, man. It's been. I mean, listen. As far as like hobby stuff for me, man. Like, I've been looking at a lot of stuff, and I'm excited for a lot of things, but there's also like these life turns, and sometimes you got to put your energies into other things, and it is what it is. We got responsibilities, man. We're adults, you can't really take anything away because at the end of the day, we got our stuff, stashed away. We got our PC stuff, so as exciting as it is to like find new stuff, for sure, always like be grateful for the stuff you have.
Yeah.
So I've just been kind of like in that like zen, like chilling, man. Like just looking at stuff, and obviously like when the time is right, I'll pull the trigger on a couple of things that I'm actually pretty excited for, man. Something I haven't really seen many people like post and put out there like that. So keeping one, keeping a little ace in my sleeve.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sergio's bringing back some Teletubbies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Beanie Babies. My bad, Beanie Babies.
No, being baby PMGs, bro.
Yeah. Nah, it's that, and I appreciate when I reach out to y'all this week. Y'all, you guys bounce some ideas off me. I do think they help. Like, yo, you just gotta get back to digging and finding joy in hunting, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, just because you brought this up, dude, but no shade. No shade, because hold on.
All right, so all the shade. All right, let's go.
All the shade, but no shade at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because look, Sergio, I'm just connecting dots, and Sergio's right because that's the vibe I've been on. Which is even my last post was talking about how, I'm just grateful for the fact that I found this little Marvel versus System extended foil art like a year and a half ago or so, and I was just again going through the PC and digging. Like I'm not picking anything new, just learning different things and again just going through what I was able to acquire and just enjoying everything, man. And that's to your point when we were bringing up what you should do is going back to digging. We would say go through your PC, but you've been letting all of it go. You know what I mean?
That's great.
That's why no shade. That's what I'm saying. But like,
I hear you. And I do have quite a few stuff. It's just definitely in one of those, and I don't know how many people can relate to it, obviously, but I see. It is a time for me to observe. Even last week, just observe, kind of check the, state of the hobby. You know what I mean? Not to plug your shit, but like, just kind of see what the vibes are out there, what I see people doing more than anything. And for me, like you said, like it's a lot of like narrowing down shit. I always have a fascination with not having too much. I like minimalism to some extent,
Yeah.
Obviously, I want furniture in my house, not going that crazy. You know what I mean? Some people go
You don't
crazy.
Want a futon? You don't want a Japanese futon?
But it's too. I don't like having too many things. I like to have meaningful things. So finding meaning in objects that clearly probably don't have any meaning to begin with. When we talk about real life and like events like these hurricanes, it kind of checks you, puts you in real perspective. But I do try to curate it and like keep it meaningful to me. So it's just a time to reflect and kind of see what's sticking, what's not. And that's been the current task at hand. But it's funny, like I was watching. I've been watching other content. I haven't really been watching a lot of card stuff.
Yeah.
Just because honestly, ever since the whole Topps Fanatics Marvel thing, it kind of killed that part of the hobby for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. Like I'm sure there's plenty of reasons why I could probably figure out later on, but it kind of killed the whole mood of just even continuing to collect any Marvel stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've been watching a lot of other content, like some of the action figure people. I always stay watching that and the statue guys, and bro, it was the same conversations. People narrowing down the collections. People were like, "Yo, these guys have physical boxes right everywhere." Like, bro, I don't want to be a hoarder. I don't want to like, something happened to me, and then like I leave behind all this stuff to my family. Like they got to go through this whole room full of crap, right? Stuff that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But
it's a contradicting thing, man. The whole minimalism and collecting,
yeah,
right? Because collecting is essentially like we're picky hoarders. That's probably the best way.
That's a good way to put it.
We're picky hoarders, and the reason, even recently I was listening to a podcast myself. Lex Friedman, he had some guests on, and they were talking about minimalism.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he did a cleanse for himself a few years back, and it was 100 items only, right? So obviously, when you get to that level of minimalism, like you're only going to keep a fucking chair. The guy narrowed it down to a spork, for God's sakes. He didn't want a spoon and a fork, so he got a spork.
I can't relate to that.
But that's what I'm saying. So there's two extremes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And me being a Libra, I'm somewhere in the middle. You know, like I don't want no boxes either at all. But I also don't want only own 100 things, because again, people don't take into consideration like that counts your toothbrush. You know, it's not like you're only counting your personal objects. It's counting everything that you need on a daily basis.
Yeah, like when I talk about it, I'm just meaning like the actual collection. Because of course, like you know, I like my books and my art books. Like I have a whole library and shit. Like that type of stuff to me is I don't even consider those, because those are just part of like knowledge and like things I use to take photographs. Like they're useful things, you know.
Yeah.
As far as like collectibles, probably more interesting. Like maybe putting that task on myself makes it engaging, right? Where like I'm kind of bored with what I have. If I start to like put it in a hierarchy, it kind of gives me like energy to be excited about my collection again. So I'm like, all right, so what would I take away? What would I keep? What would I want to add to it? I think putting restrictions makes it interesting to me at some point, right? Like, because it's not like we have unlimited funds to go buy everything.
Absolutely not.
That wouldn't be fun either. Like,
no, it wouldn't. We talked about this before, right? It's like having a hack in a video game where you unlock everything. Then what the fuck's the point of playing the video game after that?
Yeah. And it's just like you said, these are like repetitive conversations we have over time. We've been doing this for over 2 years now, and we had like different different versions of this conversation along the way. But it's one of those lulls in the hobby, or you know, anytime. Here's a good indicator, and I told you guys that anytime I post any Batman animated cards, that's a red flag, like just a clear flag that I'm bored with the hobby. You know, I'm going back to my safe zone, to my nostalgia. Yeah, I'm having fun because I ripped a couple packs, and like I showed you, like I sent a couple cards to PSA, and I'm always working on my Batman animated stuff. So, yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's almost like, in a weird way, like fasting, right? You just kind of narrowing down and like really thinking through at a different level, what things do I want to keep, what things mean something to me, what things don't. And I think that's a healthy thing. Obviously, I don't know how many people do it. Maybe I'm the only weirdo doing that shit, right? Like, who the fuck knows? But we don't really see or hear people talk about this shit, which is why I enjoy coming back to doing the podcast and having conversation with you two, because we can talk at that level.
Yeah,
we can get nerdy about this shit.
I think you'd be surprised how many people would resonate, or what you're saying would resonate with them, and they are probably going through the same thing. But the reason no one talks about it, well, number one is like we have a handful of content creators on our hobby to begin with, but also secondly, and even on IG or Facebook groups, like no one's posting the downside, right? Nobody, maybe for sales reasons, right? Like Sergio was bringing that up earlier. Like how many people are Sergio or you were bringing up, like how many people are trying to sell right now on Facebook groups and no one's really buying. So imagine the last thing you want to tell those people is, hey, I'm narrowing down the collection. I'm kind of bored. You don't want to throw that out there, right? Because you want people to buy what you're putting out.
It is a level of vulnerability, or like, and maybe that's what it is.
That they don't want to have more than
when I speak, and we've had plenty of like serious conversations along the years. I really try to strip all ego. Like I really don't. I really try to live that life. So for me, I don't really think it through. Like maybe it sounds crazy to be that vulnerable. I don't know. Like to me, it's not a big deal. Like, what, you gonna make fun of me? I care less. It doesn't phase me, bro. Like I know who I am. So yeah, if anything, I hope these conversations spark more of those conversations, because I think the psychology behind it is very interesting. And I would love to hear other people's perspective on it, for sure.
Well, how you been feeling, Sergio?
I mean, it's I would say like for quite a while now. Again, we've known each other for probably like close to 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, this is like probably. I mean, I did buy the Dragon Ball thing like a few weeks back, right? That was probably like 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
And like as far as like hobby wise, I haven't bought anything, but that just means that I mean, regardless of, hey, obviously, life responsibility and all those other things, like you have a little something, stash away a few nuts for the winter, and if something hits, I mean, you might be in a better position to get that, instead of, because I mean, things do pop up,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. That's the thing about eBay, and I mean that's the fun. That's the fun of like for me digging, and just enjoying like kind of window shopping.
Yeah.
Putting my little marks, little marking the territory. I'll come back.
Yeah.
I'll come back, and if it gets away from me, man, like it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I'll find another. It might just take me a little bit.
Yeah. Do y'all agree? Like I don't know lately, like these conversations, but collecting isn't buying, right? Like
No.
I mean, we as you bring this up, just because it's
Yeah.
I want to put anybody on blast, but you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. I
Uh-huh.
shared with you guys last week a post by someone on IG, and you got to see kind of like the background of where they post, and Sergio's exact words was, some people just buy shit,
Yeah.
and that's, I think, where you're going. It's true, man. Like some people don't really collect. Like some people truly just buy shit for the sake of buying stuff.
Right, because either, yeah, and I don't. I
And,
guess
and,
I don't
and
understand that philosophy.
but also on the flip side, people would say the same thing about you. You know what I mean? Like a sports car collector might be like, well, like, oh, this guy bought this Bianchi auto for whatever.
Mhm.
It's just like we see it from our end because of what our base is, right? Like what the foundation of like some of the collecting things that we do is like in the hobby.
Mhm.
But people on the flip side see it the same way too.
It's like collecting the process of it. It's beyond just fucking finding something and buying it. Like you
Yeah.
fucking like research it, or like what's the level of process it takes, right? Because like I go back and I like to just I'll create an idea like, oh, I should create a collection of this, and then I'll entertain the idea, and I'll research this, and I'll research that, and then think it through, or I'll watch videos, or I'll go read books or whatever. Like it's a whole process, and I wonder if that varies from person to person. Like,
I I
You
think
know what? Oh, go ahead, Elizabeth.
I was going to say real quick. I think that because you sparked an idea with me
yeah,
by saying that, I think it'd be dope if we do. How we've been doing we did the 4-101 with Sergio. We did the masterclass Batmobile. What
yeah,
if we just do an episode of us digging? Like,
yeah,
I
I'll
think
be
though,
good.
to that point, I don't
Yeah,
mind doing it, like being the one scrolling. But I'll be honest with you, I think it's going to be more boring than people think it is,
yeah,
because it's
yeah,
super boring. I enjoy it, and I know all you do too.
yeah,
But I don't think people understand how boring it is if you don't if you have a short attention span. Oh, you're fucked. You're cooked. Because I'll
yeah,
give you a small hint. I'll literally go by a keyword. You name a keyword right now, anything you want. Let's say Batman animated,
yeah.
and go ahead and go all categories and see how many results you get, and scroll through every single fucking result.
Yeah, I would say the key word is doom scroll, because you just have to literally just go through every single like
Mm-hmm.
piece,
And
page
that's
by
like the
page, piece
fun
by
thing, right?
piece.
Yeah,
Because then
because
you'll
you're
see
looking.
random shit pop up, like,
Yep,
oh, I don't know, and then
Like
rabbit hole, boom,
yep. Side
open a
quests.
tab here, open a tab here, and the amount of hours people like us, I'm sure there's many people like us. That's the fun process. Like the end result is, hey, here's the thing I found.
Yeah, it's in the
And,
mail.
and here's a photo, and I took a shot of it, and I set it up nicely, and like, because I want people to really see what I see.
Correct. I want the best. Correct, because they say beauty is
Yeah,
in the eye of the beholder, right? Like, I want
yeah.
to present it to you the way I see it.
I view it, right?
Mhm.
It's like my way of interacting with this thing, and I want the viewer to see it in my perspective and hold it at that light or pedestal we put it at for the day, right? Because then after that, I mean, we're being honest, those things go back into like wherever they're stored at, and we just look at the images. We don't really pull them out that often. Every now and then, you'll crack your case open and look at your cards or look at your books, but the process for me, like, is the most important thing, the most fun part of it.
It is. I'll be honest though. I think maybe out of all of us, I probably do look at my stuff the most.
Mm-hmm.
I probably on a daily basis. Not the same stuff, but it's either like if I'm shipping something out, then I'm looking through the Hot Wheels, or because that's what's going on right now. Or if I'm trying to do a trade, like I'm trying to work a trade with Obi currently, then I'm gonna pull out what I have available for trade.
You kind of revisit your things, yeah.
And so I do it on a daily basis. So I really enjoy looking through them because I try to remember, again, the feeling of, to your point, like once you get it, sometimes that feeling goes away.
Yeah.
It is like a drug, right? Because when you first get it, that's the high, as well as the high when you find it. But then when you go back through it, I try to remember like, how long did I want this for? How did I feel when I found it? What was I when I found it?
Yeah, how many hours did I spend just trying to find this shit?
Yeah, and I enjoy that. It's a way for me. What I do is just to be grateful for like every piece that I have. As corny as that may sound, is the truth. Like I'm really always going through pieces that I have, and I'm like, oh shit! I remember when I was trying to look for that, and I finally found one, and that's dope. Now I can check that off, or sometimes there's things that I can't check off even if I already got one because I need one in better condition. Right. So like Sergio says with the comics, it's like a placeholder. And I'm waiting for a better condition, hopefully, to come out. But now it's not the same, right? Like that's like another tier lower where I'm not consistently worried about that. That's like a secondary stress now. Now it's just like if it comes up and it's in better condition and it's a right price, I'll buy it. Now I'm more picky about the second item or the second copy of it. But the initial copy, just the finding it, whatever it may be something that's readily available. In that case, it's not really finding it. It's just getting it for the right price.
Right.
But it's fun. It's all fun, dude. That's why, I get when you're going through stuff, I get it. But maybe because look, I also spend a lot of times with my kids. So like I'm always out and about, like just taking them out on walks and just playing with them.
Well, that's the thing, right? You're doing other things where I think sometimes, at least for me, this is my main hobby. It's my main, like, I obsess over some other shit. And it's like, you got to get away from it. You gotta go do something like watch a movie, like get inspired somewhere else. Because you're kind of looking for this inspiration where it really like probably shouldn't be looking for in the collectible space. I think it could be a fun hobby, but like how many people I know like get back to drawing or get back to painting, and then like that's like part of the whole thing. You listen to your favorite podcast, or listen to other collector streams, and like you get inspiration from that. So it's just about feeding that like creative side, and it's not always gonna be what we collect. It's gotta go through somewhere else.
And I think it also has to do with like how many interests you have, right? Because I remember shout out to Donnie. He was Donnie. What was his whole IG?
Donnie Boy McCoy.
Donnie Boy McCoy. He was asking me what I collect. Like he met up a few weeks ago. We started chatting it up on IG, but. I told him coins, knives. Like I just listed off a couple things to him, and that's my point. Like I'm not looking at card content. Sometimes I'm looking at like knives, door stuff, the latest tech.
Right.
Like just different
multiple interests.
Yeah. So yeah, like sometimes I'm all over the place, but I know where I'm at. Like I go through. The easiest way to know where I'm going through is looking at my YouTube history. Because you're usually going to find the last 6 to a dozen videos are on the same subject. Right. And then you can kind of see where I'm at. And then I'm like, oh, okay, next week I might be looking into poker chips. I've been trying to get a set of poker chips that I want. So I might be looking through that. so it's always something different. And I think for me, that's what you said, like interesting, and I'm always refreshed in that sense. Then I'll be looking at color pencils. You know what I mean? Like, Michael's had a sale, like a 40% off on a single item. That's when you take advantage of these Prisma color pencils, or whatever you buy.
Prisma colors, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man, it's all cool.
It's that feeding the creative or inspiration or creative side. Yeah, I mean that's basically what's been going on.
You know what it was for me with that too, man, is like I kind of stopped like digesting, content.
Yeah.
And I just went like, like straight MIA, AWOL, and like just fell down like other rabbit holes. And again, I stopped digesting other content and started like spending that time researching, again, going back to basics, like just, starting with like just looking stuff up, seeing like if something exists, something's out there. And as you can see, I haven't really posted anything on IG, and again, it's even that, it's like the break from that as well. Take a few days off, disconnect from that, like, like posting stuff like that, just because, I needed the mental break, mental break from digesting, mental break from, like listening to like, I just want to be like kind of in my own like collector bubble,
Yeah, space where you can kind of figure out what you want to do.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and also it helps though, Sergio, that now you have your son with you. That that's something that you didn't have as access to before. Playing with him, and you're spending a lot more time, teaching him some Marvel vs. Capcom or whatnot.
I'm teaching him how to get whooped. How to get laid out and freaking Marvel vs. Capcom.
Well, you also like things you're probably watching like anime and stuff. Well, so you're bouncing off and seeing what appeals to him, and then that's probably sparking ideas like, "Oh, I never thought about this. I should go see if this exists, that exists." I'm sure that's helpful too.
Yeah, but again, just what it is. It's knowing like the foundations of like what, like kind of how you guys taught me how like the Marvel card stuff kind of worked.
Yeah.
But then you go out there and again, it's just like it's an evolution. It's collecting and evolving at the same time, because you go from collecting one thing and then you collect into another thing. You have a mission over here, then there's a little side mission. You're like, damn, that's dope, but you can't, so I can't stretch out, 3, 4, 5 side missions, like
no, for sure.
And also you don't want to, because sometimes you want to save them.
Well, I want to, it's just the.
Yeah, but you want to savor it, whatever. Yeah. Like you don't want
to. Yeah. But like, listen, for sure, like 100%, it feels like the other way around. If we if we have bags on bags, man, woo,
but like we said, you'd get bored.
You give it because you just be accumulating shit.
And that's fine, but like, let me pick up, like,
you're like, I still want to experience that.
let me pick up my things, the stuff
we'll worry about that later, dog. Don't worry about it. Yeah. It's funny because I also been watching, I watch a lot of comic book content too. And people, when they go digging, right? And I feel like that's like they find like their inspiration. Sometimes I don't even know what they're looking for. Like shout out to Dave, West Coast Davengers. Like he put 2 videos up where he was in Pittsburgh, digging in comic stores with Jim Rugg, and like, it's like an hour worth of people. He's just like digging, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. It's kind of like watching those restoration videos for the watches. It's kind of like, oh, okay. There's all these like, that's their version of like, all right, let's see. Oh, I've never seen this before. Oh, who's this artist? All right, now I can go dig this. I go dig that. But in cards, you don't really have that. You gotta go buy boxes and packs and shit. I guess it's different for me. I kind of where I landed with it was, I'm really just more interested in the stories, and I've been saying that for a while. So just reading comic books and like getting, the lore behind these, characters that we collect and shit. Like that's more my space now. And like the actual cards and the actual whatever you're physically collecting is more steered by the content, that I'm spending time invested in reading or watching.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, it's dope. I haven't been watching a lot of comic content, but yeah, I know what you're saying. What I enjoy about it when I consume that, is just learning, about different things. Sometimes I'm into horror, but I'm not like deep into horror, And sometimes you see some of these covers that people are sharing, you're like, oh wow, that's pretty dope. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
And then again, rabbit holes. And then recently, I have been seeing that foreign comic chat we're on, Sergio, and some of the things they get into, and it's an interesting chat. I'll say that. I mean, I would say it's almost as interesting as the Doom chat was, but for different reasons. They get into some stuff, and it's always funny what gets said there and what gets shared. And I'm more of a what would it be? I'm just watching, observing. I don't really. I think Sergio likes to participate with that a little bit more. He likes to tell people that they shouldn't pay those prices a lot. I'm just like, and then
you try to help people, like
no, for sure. But you see how some of those guys react to it, and then but Sergio's not even about how he'll like to be like,
I don't care about that.
He'll be like, no, for sure. But he'll be like, yeah, some guy will be looking for a book, for example, and he'll be like, hey, do you guys think it's worth like $100, $200? And then Sergio likes to tell him, I got that for 10.
I definitely never said that.
Well, not maybe 10.
What I said was, it's whatever you're willing to pay for it. You know what I mean?
Well, that was another one, but I know what you're saying. Point being is that the guys who sell in there probably don't appreciate that because they want to sell their stuff. But it's a funny thing, man. It's interesting to see.
I mean, listen, I'm a buyer.
Yeah.
I buy foreign comics. I just don't buy foreign comics from some of them.
From most of them, let's be honest.
From most of them, yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, listen. I've said, we've talked about this before, and you guys know that this upsets me. But like predatory selling. Like, listen, like in a sense of like you're taking advantage of someone that doesn't know how to find what you have. But you're charging him. Let's say let's say $50 for like a $4 comic.
Yeah.
And then shipping.
Yeah.
And that's I mean, dude, that's in a sense that's like predatory selling. You know what I mean? Because you're of course. Foreign comics. We talk about it all the time. Like okay, to be fair, some foreign comics are going to be way more rare than other foreign comics.
Yeah.
Right.
When we talk about keys and stuff like that, you guys know that. But for the most part, some of the other stuff, like some of the stuff that I post, whatever, like, dude, it's relatively easy just to find it on eBay.
One thing you forget too, man, is that and I did as well. This is what I'm about to tell you. Something I had a conversation a while back with Manu, and we'll get into those PSA slabs in regards to Manu as well.
Oh, for sure. Shout out to Manu.
Shout out Manu. But he was telling me like, hey, a lot of the individuals he deals with, bro, like whether they have money, and obviously most of them do, just based on the stuff he sells, is they don't have time to be searching for shit, bro. Yeah. And they probably don't care like we do too today. They just want the end result. Well, they just want to acquire.
It takes time.
And that's my point. They're paying you for your time, Sergio. So even though you don't think it's worth,
I don't have the same,
exactly. And that's my point, though. He does, and I do to a certain extent on some things too, especially the things that are more obscure. Like we just said it earlier. How many hours do we scroll through eBay? So you're not going to pay me for the time and everything I took to find these things, and now you just want the information like that.
I guess I don't think about it like that. That's why it makes me upset.
What happened to do your homework? It's the same thing as do your homework. There's no difference between those two.
No.
I think that's person by person, maybe minute by minute, like depending how I feel. If I'm feeling friendly, I'll let you if I'm done. Because ultimately, what you're talking about is like tastemakers, right? People who create and put a spotlight on things and create an awareness for for something they probably didn't know they would like. So
Yeah.
there's a value to that. I don't know if it's always a monetary value to it. A lot of people.
Well, they definitely think about it like this. You kind of
Mhm.
answered it yourself. How many people, how many brands pay a Kim Kardashian just to make a post on their IG? Why? Because it brings attention to that product,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
we don't. Unlike her, though, we're not getting paid by Upper Deck to promote it.
No,
So that's the difference. Like,
we're definitely promoting their stuff by
correct,
posting it.
exactly, and we're promoting
But it's
whatever they
that
stand for.
balance of, all right, am I looking at myself as a business or I'm looking at myself as a collector? I think that's what Sergio speaks to. Like,
Yeah,
there's a clash sometimes where, like, hey, man,
that
I know
makes
what
sense.
you're doing and it makes sense why you put pricing that way. But, like, bro, we're just
No,
collectors. We're not fucking
I,
Kardashians, my G. You
and
know?
listen,
No, for sure.
I feel they got to make their money, but $4 to $50 is an extreme. That's a lot of inflation. You know.
It definitely is a lot of inflation. I'm just taking that example, but let's be honest. Like you're also a type. You're also like a bargain hunter. Like you're not. Even if it was $4, that was $4 for you. But if we probably look at the average of what it sells for, it probably sells for like 10 or 15. You just always happen to like. Obviously, like we do what we do. You're patient. You look around at different areas for what you're searching for, and then on top of that, you tell the sellers 10 reasons why it's not going to sell. So you end up getting it for $4 or $5. But in reality, it's a $10 or $15 item.
What do
So
you call
I,
that? Price gouging? What do you call that when
haggling.
haggling?
Sergio's definitely the guy who's going to haggle at a yard sale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The mug is $5. He's like, would you take $2.50? Because look, it has a coffee stain right here, and I'm gonna have to wash it. You know, so
I pull out like a roll of quarters. You know.
yeah. On top of that, so on top of the fact he wants a $2.50, he wants to know if he can pay you all in quarters.
Yeah.
So no, but I get you. No, you're right though. Like that's one thing I'm trying to think about as well. Like what you're saying, but even going back to like when it was just collecting, like when we're doing, and that what reminded me of that is when we did the Batmobile video. Like I was telling you, I was there myself, right, where it was just a $5 difference, and I would wait for a blue dot until because I couldn't afford it at the time.
Yep.
But even at that time, I wasn't selling shit because again, you know how long it took me to acquire those things, just time wise, let alone the money. So I do the patience exactly. So I do see both sides. I know what you're saying, but unfortunately now though, Sergio, you're the minority because the majority, whether they want to pretend to or not, everybody's selling. Everybody's selling to some extent. And the biggest one is either, I'm selling to fund the hobby. That's like at the smallest scale, right? And then there's people that are full-on businesses. But everybody's at least trying to sell to fund the hobby by itself.
I would agree. Yeah, I guess the best way to gauge like what a proper price is if I own that, what would I comfortably like sell it for? If I think it should be more modest than what this person is selling theirs for, and then you kind of figure out, okay, yeah, instead of charging 100, yeah, bro, get your money, but like charge, $40. You know what I mean? You're making something and you're leaving something on the bone there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And it is tough too, especially with the smaller items, because think about it. You might be looking for, I'm just going to throw something out there. Let's say you're looking for a POG, and the POG's $5, right?
Yeah.
But this POG, you've only seen it come up twice a year. Are you going to charge $5, even though you got it for $5? But how long did it take you to acquire that? So again, that's something you don't take. You're not going to sell it for $5.
I think majority of the people,
not even worth the shipping.
Majority of people in the hobby are gonna capitalize off of that.
But to that, I also say like that when we know a few sellers out there that eBay sellers.
Oh yeah.
That'll they'll put something at like a ridiculous price and just like let it sit, and it's like, dude, nobody is taking like a shot at that,
Oh, shout out to Snoopy and Pen 66 and a bunch of these guys. Yeah, that's how they do. And those kind of guys, bro. Like, look, and that's going back to even thing we were talking about, and then we'll get out of this whole selling thing. But like, those are the type of people that don't need the money. They just do it because that's a side legit, just like it's a hobby for us or collecting. To them, it's a full-fledged side hustle hobby. They just do it as these are people that are all about the numbers, most likely. They just buy cases, rip them themselves. They might collect to a certain extent, but then they're always posting whatever on eBay, and they want, the price point to be at a certain price point, and they won't even, this, they won't even move their prices. You could hit them with, yeah, they won't budge at all. Sergio could hit them with, hey, but the last 3 comps are this, and they don't care. They won't even answer you. They'll be like, cool, wait for another one.
And it has to be a strategy that works, because otherwise, why would they keep doing it?
Correct. And if you look at their feedback and the amount of time, amount of items they've sold, it obviously works for them. Right. But it's definitely the long game. Like, they're not trying to sell something this week; they're trying to sell something this year.
Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on this whole switch up, the switcheroo PSA did with their comics line?
Yeah. So let's get into that. Again, this is a post. Shout out to Manu. Shout out to Neo. I think Swagglehaus. Yesterday was the 10th of October, and it was a PSA 10/10 day. They've been branding it for a couple weeks. They were teasing like some announcements. They had a couple deals, and they had a reel, and you could take the screenshot. This was their updated version, a revised version of their label design, taking into consideration, like, all the initial feedback they got. For majority, I would say primarily, and again, I don't know, but what it seems like to me is primarily because of all the sellers that sell slabs. I think Swagglehaus was one of the guys in San Diego Comic-Con when they showed off the first slabs. He did a whole video where he pulled up and interviewed a bunch of these comic book sellers and kind of got their perspective. Like, yo, what do you think about the slab? Do you think they have a chance? What would you change about it? So it's like a feedback video. So shout out to Swagglehaus. You guys want to check that out. It's during San Diego Comic-Con when that happened. But a lot of the same feedback or they received online was from the same feedback they received in person from the sellers. And the biggest thing here being, like, they wanted the numbers bigger. They wanted the font to be bigger. A lot of the sellers didn't even want the red. They just view red as like a negative thing because they're used to a certain way with CGC.
Yeah.
And this was interesting to me. I think Sergio shared it last night, and I made a story where I like kind of cut the top half of this and then the original one, the original design that they showed at San Diego. And I'm not trying to sound negative, right? Like, it's just this. I know people were mad about the PSA little holographic sign where they're like, hey, let's decrease it. We even have Manu on, right? And he talked about some of the ideas he had. Like, yeah, they should probably decrease it. Some people want the number to be bigger. People want the title to be bigger.
Yeah, we talked.
It seems like this is right. It seems like this got bigger. And the biggest change is the red, white, and blue PSA for their brand, their actual color logo. They did it into a white with the silver.
That's the worst part for me personally.
Yeah, bring back the red, white, and blue. Like, it looks better with that. This looks kind of weird. I don't know. Like, I don't know why they changed that. And like, the original design was better. And I'm gonna keep it very simple for me. The original design they showed at San Diego Comic-Con, the first one, the one they premiered, is the best one I've seen.
From the two, 100%, yeah.
And we're gonna go to the next post that was today, which was a good engaging post today. But I actually don't mind this number being bigger. Okay, I don't think it was necessary, but I really have a problem with the title here. And it is, again, we get super nerdy about it. I don't know how many people actually care, but you're making these two lines the same size as one full line here, and then we're adding 2 lines on the bottom. The original design was all the same amount of spacing, right? So it was the font size across the middle here. This to me just looks goofy. Having a big, amazing spot, like a big title, it doesn't reflect what you think of as a PSA card design. Everything is uniform in spacing. There's a certain level of size in the font, and that's what I like about PSA. I like the simplicity of it. We're not staring at the label; we're staring at the thing that's encased in the label, and I don't know why they took that feedback into consideration. Because mainly those gripes were at people who are selling at a booth.
And that's what I was going to tell you. At that point, just there, what you said, because you brought it up twice already. Yeah. Do you feel just based on that PSA cares more about the seller than the collector?
I don't know. See, that's what this is confusing to me, because if you are confident in your brand and you're confident in your process of how you encase things and how you grade things and you take pride in it, why are we making changes to your initial design when this looks out of place from your original visual identity? This doesn't, again, this looks off. This doesn't look like a PSA slab on a card or on a Funko Pop, or right now anything autographed, a magazine that's autographed, or they have encased magazines or a jumbo card. Like this is you never make the title bigger. The number is a new thing. That can work with itself, but the balance here between the negative space and the actual font, it's just off. And again, I go back to that video because a lot of that criticism and a lot of that feedback was, hey, I'm in a booth and I need people to see this. At the same time, and I told this to Manu, I think it was after we recorded that episode, right? I think, or beforehand. So I don't think it was recorded in the actual episode. I told him, look, if you listen to that one seller, he's literally talking about how bad it looks. They can't see the number from 10 feet away or 5 feet away. How am I going to sell this to my customers? Right next to his slabs are raw books that have no labels. They have a small ass little post-it note, right, with a number. And you're all right. So you tell me they can't see this, but they can see that next to it, which has no, like, there's no font size. There's nothing to wear, and you clearly selling all these raw books. It's not stopping your business. So your only gripe with this is different. It's not CGC. It's not blue, and I don't like it. I don't want to change. I don't want to get adapted to something different. So to me, a lot of that feedback was irrelevant. Because in that video, if you go check, and you guys can go see it for yourself. Look up Swagglehaus. Go look at the video where he asked all these people at DCC. They're selling raw books next to it with a small ass post-it note in the number, and that's not impacting your sales, bro. Like okay, that tells me enough. You don't like it. It's strange to you. You're not aware of PSA. You're only aware of CGC and CBCS. Cool. This is what makes this PSA move interesting to me. It's different.
And I would even say, on top of what you mentioned about the sellers, even from a seller standpoint, if I'm setting up at a booth, what I want to create conversation, right? So even if the post or the price tags are small or the font is small, wouldn't that make it more likely that the client or the customer is going to ask you, hey, what is that? How much is that going for?
Right. It creates more questions, more engagement.
Otherwise, they're just going to window shop. They're just going to go up to your booth, scan everything with their eye. Oh, yeah, that's going for that. Oh, and then just be looking up comps, and there's going to be no conversation or anything.
But it to me also belittles like the intelligence of your customer. You don't think people are actually interested in the actual book inside, like the actual item? You think they're just going up and they're just looking at numbers like, I need that number, the one that says 9.8. Bro, like they're looking at the book, just like the raw books that you're selling up there at the same length, at the same position as your greater books. I think this update was unnecessary. I don't think it's hideous, but I don't think it's better than the original design. And I really personally have a problem with the PSA not being in color here because aesthetically it just looked better when it was. And this font being so big, I know Sergio brought it up, and I'm gonna let Sergio talk because I don't want to hog it up. But yo, what if the title of the book is bigger? Like you're limiting yourself to a certain amount of characters that you can't go past. Like it just design wise, you're putting yourself in a difficult situation. If this is right, handicapping yourself. If this is a lower text like this and it looks more uniform, you have more space to play with. You have more rows to like add if it needs more rows of text. Like it's just a lot more benefits. But Sergio, I'm gonna let you go because I'll keep talking forever.
No, I feel the same way about it, man. I feel for me, I do like the first original design. Same thing with the sticker. Like I feel like to tone it down a little bit. Like unless the sticker is some kind of like safety, situation where it's like doing something actually, to the slab that's protecting it. I think you could tone down the sticker a little bit and just the font size, man. Like I feel, yeah. I mean, to your point, I feel like it's just too big.
Yeah, and if it's a cut cost measure, don't show us the full color like sticker, and then give us like the black and white one or like the gray and white one. Like the color one looks better.
Yeah.
It just does.
And I think I saw Manu's story. He's like, "Hey, what do you think about this one?"
Right. So this is from today, and I want to make sure I shout out the person. I think Gazer collects. So it was I believe this is a collector who did a mock-up design, community member, which he states here. And he's just like, he tagged me on this post and he put, yo, what if this was the label? Would you prefer this, right? Over the initial design or the secondary one that they just updated. And some people liked it. There was a lot of conversation from me personally, again, and I put it here. Like I appreciate the passion and design choice, but this doesn't reflect PSA's visual identity to me, right? Like this is cool, and it's just a lot of things. This doesn't look like a PSA label, so I would want things to be cohesive. I think that plays a big important factor into their popularity is their design, and I don't know how many people actually think that it plays a factor. I think most people would like, well, it just sells for the most. Yeah,
we'll see.
There's something psychologically that happens because of their design being so clean, and specifically, a lot of their design is minimal. Like you can't tell the grade from far away, right? Like in a card, right? You can only tell by like the length if it says gem mint and then it has a 10 or whatever. But like from far away, it's designed that way because every card in that slab looks like a full collection. Like it looks like part of a series. And it puts the actual item inside as the main thing to be showcased. It's not about, all right, do I want to stare at a label or do I want to stare at the actual object? And I believe a lot of PSA's visual identity, their choices are specifically to highlight the actual cards, Funko Pops, whatever it is, and not so much the label. That's why it's very like minimalistic. It's very, people compare it to a library card. People compare it to a medicine, a bottle, right? Like it's intentional that way. And that's what makes it to me unique, and that's what makes it popular. But again, people are gonna have different perspectives on it. Again, shout out to the guy who or girl, I don't know who it is, but they designed this, and to me, the biggest thing is the font choice just throws it off. There's spacing between this newsstand edition, like there's underline here. It's just a lot of variation in how they use the text that doesn't really, for me, like sit well and have a real good cohesiveness. And the font choice, this spells like sporty, spells like aggressiveness, the font itself, and we're promoting non-sports. We're trying to promote comic books. I don't know why you would choose like something that's very sports like in the way the font appears when you're talking about comics. Uh, so it just doesn't make it's not a good design for what we're highlighting. In my opinion, again, I'm not an authority in this space. It's just my opinions. I did a little graphic design, but this is just me just being passionate. Like again, shout out to him or her who designed this. I think this is a cool idea, a mock-up. But for me, it just doesn't fit.
I think what it is too, man. And I looked through some of those comments as we were talking. Like some people were just like, "Yo, CGC is laughing at them," and I think what it is, man. I feel like what's going on in the state of the comic book hobby is that everybody's shitting on CGC right now. Everybody's shitting on CGC, especially when the news of PSA dropped. All of a sudden, you know, all of a sudden everybody hates
Yeah,
their ex girlfriend, and everybody can't wait to
there's a
go
lot
out
of
with the girl.
tribalism going on.
Yeah, and then now though, now that people are seeing this label, I don't know. People might have assumed that they were going to be able to take over. Is it going to be competition? I'm not sure. Not after I see the
Yeah, who
label.
knows?
Now after I see the comps, exactly. Who knows? But the other thing to me that's always hilarious. It's and not to get into politics, but just the outline of it is the same thing. Some people think that things are going to change, whether it's this guy or this gal or whomever it might be. Like, what makes you think that this company cares more about collectors than the CGC company? At the end of the day, both they're not nonprofits, right? They're both companies that are here to make money.
Right.
So again, do you think everything is going to get better overnight just because it's PSA and it's not CGC? Well, good luck with that.
And like, I do appreciate that they're reaching out for feedback to the community, right? And they're connecting with people like Manu and people like Swagglehaus, and like I appreciate that they're open to that. But and I've seen some of these comments say like, "Oh, I wish they would get graphic designers." I believe is on this one, and I'm like, bro, like, how do you not see that? Like their initial design is precisely what, as a designer, you would extend your new line of product to look like that fits their design language. That actually, I don't know. I still think, and some people in here still think it's the first design was the best one. Um, at some point, like let's like the creators create, and let's kind of like just wait and see what we get. I think when you get too many, hands in the pot, like it just gets out of whack. But um, as far like just my perspective, I hope they stick to the first version they showed at the San Diego Comic Con. That's it. I mean,
Yeah, for me, it's like always, man.
let's
Like
see if I can find it too, because
I,
I want
I
to see
didn't.
the this design right here, just the initial design. Look, this is far away. I can't read the letters right, even this small thumbnail. I can see the number,
Yeah,
and like this is the same length. There's this paragraph here sits well. It's all information. It's a group here. We have a line of information here. We have another group here and another group here. Like it's the spacing just fits well, and it reminds me of a PSA slab when I look at a card or a Funko Pop or whatever it is. Like I just think, yeah, man, we gotta let designers design. I mean, like,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
For
I
me,
think
oh, go ahead, Sergio.
that original design it just looks it's really clean. It's just very simple,
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, listen, I'm sure but I will say to the one that I was posted with the Amazing Spider-Man 300,
Mhm.
the concept that Manu posted is like slightly better than that one. Like I really don't like the big font.
Mhm. I the only issue I think like so much information here, you're gonna run out of space. I don't know if it's doable. There's a reason why it's broken into like there's some here, some here, some down here, some here, because you have to make this be a template for a bunch of books. So maybe it works for Incredible Hulk, but this is Amazing Spider-Man 300. Where's the font going to end? Is it going to run into this barcode here? Why do we have a barcode here? Like, it's just a lot of things where, yes, this looks like a good way to present it, but is it applicable to every single book and magazine that they're going to get? And if I do this 1,000 times, will all the information actually fit in this space that I'm designing here? This will get crowded, and some things will get cut off at that rate if you do it 1,000 different times with different books. So those are things that as designers you kind of take into account. If we look at the CGC, they have their own system. We have this dedicated area for our grade. We have our brand here. We have our title, and then our subtitle of the date and the publisher. And we have another smaller font to put what version is. I have a group, a paragraph here about it, the creators, and I have here the importance, first appearance, or whatever it is. This is something I could replicate 1,000 times over, and I just change the characters, right? Like, this is a template that works for them. I feel, and I still feel this way, this version is better because I can put a lot more information here with a smaller font, and I won't run into an issue where I run out of characters, right? Or like doesn't look balanced. And that's my only thing. I wish people would focus on that more. Obviously, I'm at a privileged point where I understand some of these decisions, right? Like it's me and Sergio are viewing it in different perspectives. So
yeah,
and the only reason I'm passionate about it is because I'm passionate about design. Like I
100%.
think they nailed it here. I don't think it's you want to add a little bit bigger, like cool, but like don't.
Yeah, you could go like one size up, but don't double it.
Stretch away from it. Like this version of this number, it doesn't really. Yeah, I think that's fine, but like keep this the way it was. Bring back that color label because it just looks flyer. It just looks cleaner. Like I don't know, but again, just my own 2 cents, bro. Like I'm not. I don't dismiss people's opinions. I think everyone deserves to have an opinion on this, and I'm not trying to come across like I'm some authority either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, this is what we do, man. We're just sharing our opinions. You know?
Oh, bro, and to be completely honest with people listening, if you listen this far enough, I paid 30,000 student debt to tell you what I'm telling you. Like this is a free game.
Yeah.
I had to go and fucking design shit and
pay
it off and like grind it out and get a degree. Like I'm just breaking down to you the psychology behind this design thing, that it's not as easy as it seems, but we try to make it look easy. We try to make it look presentable, and I think the designers should get some love for their original design.
Yeah,
it's spot on, bro.
Yeah.
But shout out to this guy who made it, or lady. I like I said, I appreciate the passion in design because he went out his way to do a mock-up. I thought that's dope.
Yeah, that was a nice one. For sure.
For sure. This was the most bro, this was fun, and I appreciate Manu for putting it out there because to me this is like fun having today. Like, I get to engage with something I'm passionate about.
Yeah, it gives an opportunity for everybody in the hobby that had that on their mind to like throw in their 2 cents or event or whatever, you know.
And obviously, what I will say is, people are interested because there's a lot of comments in there.
And and that's what you want. Is you want that engagement.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. People are passionate one way or the other, and I think that's a good thing. And I'm looking forward to them. I think they announced New York Comic Con. They're gonna release this revised version, so we'll see what else. I'm sure they're gonna do, like show up at events and like keep pushing this.
Hopefully that's not the final version. I do feel like the people that said, "Oh, I'm cool with it" or whatever, I didn't read through all the comments, but I'm sure some people were like indifferent or they enjoyed that new design. I wonder how many of those people are sellers and how many of them just can't wait to get back to grading because they haven't been grading with CGC for the past couple months. So now they have a little nice little pile to send off to get graded, and they want to try out PSA for the first time. You
Yeah.
Trying to rush it.
Right. And I think me and Manu had like a back and forth where I'm like, look, I'm going at a different perspective. I think we're just approaching a different perspective. I'm mostly focused on like just the presentation of it, right? Like the actual grading to like flip and maximize profits on the aftermarket is not really my main perspective. I'm really tackling like design wise, like how would I approach it, right? Like that's where my brain goes. So maybe that's all it is. A different perspective, and everyone has their own. But look, quite a few people agreed with what I agreed with. Like someone, we like the first design better. And we'll see what happens, bro. It's a process.
I mean, at the end of the day, whatever. Like, listen, it's just our opinion as collectors, Like,
yeah, we'll see. I mean, regardless, I think they're setting up nice to create some competition, and people are going to send some shit.
Yeah, I just like the old design, man. You know what I mean? So something in that area would be nice. It just looks
bring
simple.
This back. Yeah.
You know what's
if I was a consultant, I'd be bring this back, make this number or AU, whatever that. All right, put it up a little, slightly, just please some people.
Or even like that, just the middle font, slightly the middle font. But you know what's funny about this?
Or make it bold if you want to or something.
That makes sense too. Right. The only thing I was going to say real quick about this, because I remember this exact video we were watching when we were talking with Manu about this. And, I was really indifferent about it at the time because I didn't really care. I'm barely getting to grading cards. You know what I mean? Let alone comics. So I didn't really care at the time. But now, looking at the new design, it makes me appreciate what I was looking at before more.
The original one.
Which is crazy because I didn't care. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to send any. And now, to be honest with you, now I want the old one.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And I'm not even going to send any anyway right now.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like, I like to send some stuff, but like it's not top priority. But just I you know me, I love to look at design shit and just kind of nerd out on that. But that was it. Shout out to them. Shout out to everyone who took time out of their day to like kind of. It has over 137 comments. Like that. That's some good shit right there.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. Because I feel the same way. The way you feel about design is the way I always feel about artwork when I'm comparing cards to
100%.
Cards.
Yeah. And like even me, like my pastime now more than anything is just looking at artwork.
Yeah.
So like this is something we do for fun, bro. Like this is fun. I mean, yeah.
You guys, anything else you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to I don't quickly highlight because yesterday again is one of those times where I wasn't really inspired or nothing, but shout out to Tim. Tim jumped on with me. He sent me this they showed DC Annual, and me, like I've been waiting for DC cards. This was exciting. So yeah, I want to see what quick, like we don't have to go through this. It's just a couple slides, but what do y'all think? What do y'all see so far?
Please, like show me.
Go ahead. So far from what that stands out is obviously the Superman, not because of the artwork, but it reminds me of those backscatter.
So that's what it is.
Oh, okay,
these are the backscatters. Yeah. This premiere, I don't know, it's cool design in the background. You get them vintage DC artwork. Here is more like modern, right? And DC, like Annual, is mostly highlighting the year of, so like modern stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, bro, we get like the first designs on some of these cards. As opposed like Marvel, they're going with blue with DC, which is kind of cool, right? You have that yin and yang.
Yeah.
And some of the artwork choices is pretty cool. I like Huntress. This is pretty interesting. This is the fun part for me more than anything. I'm not too knowledgeable on DC books, so I'm getting to see all this artwork that I'm not aware of. And that's pretty dope. I just like looking at the artwork. Here's like a creator corner signature, super simple.
I like that night one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks dope. The blue with the font. Yeah.
That's nice. This Birds of Prey, I really like this cool, like colorful design. That's a dope image.
Yeah, the little crow. Sergio, imagine. I mean, this is DC, but imagine a little Itachi card
Yeah.
with the crows. Yeah, shout out to Naruto.
There you go. And then like you got some inserts here, and then the suspended animations.
And are these samples or are these actual product?
This is the sell sheet, so this is the preview of what this is gonna actually look like. You have like this seems like a battle sketch.
Some like you were gonna say some battle spectrals.
Yeah, it's like a battle booklet, I'm guessing, but you can't. I don't know if it's a booklet. It's just two different ones connected. But yeah, that's a sketch sample, and then we highlighted that me and Tim on my YouTube channel. But today they showed these. I don't know how many people checked it out. They have the retails blasters, right? Information. So we see more. Here's the Batman.
With cables. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it looks a little Delado to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, you might be right.
No. This is dope. I don't know anything about that, man, but that's cool. Like artwork. Man.
Yeah.
And really quick, speaking of Delado, I know you sent me that link, and I was like, oh yeah, finally. Get a chance to hit up Delado at
oh yeah, it's gonna be in your neck of the woods.
Yeah. We're to see what's going down,
Yeah, we might have to get some side missions,
Yeah, shout out to Off-White Tim, and if you guys want to see like the in depth, check out Doom's channel. Don't worry about it. He has they went into this.
Yeah.
Broke
it down. A little preview.
What is that Batman Superman logo? Wow.
And actually, speaking of Tim, really
Fusion.
quick.
I don't know what that is.
That sounds good.
Yeah, right.
Oh no.
Speaking of Tim, really quick, Tim's gonna be at Comic-Con.
Yeah. Tim's gonna be at New York Comic-Con, and hopefully we can talk to him because he's got a lot of experience going to cons. That'd be interesting talk.
Well, I mean, we need to get a couple people back on, man. We haven't talked to Johnny in a minute.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to catch up with James. He's a silent collector. I like him because, he doesn't really post much, but when you talk to him, he's been picking up on crazy.
Yeah.
Little Sergio, you know what I mean? Little Sergio's protege.
Yeah. I believe this is David Nakayama right here. You got Mary Marvel Shazam. That's a nice image. And then you got Night Terrors, Batman, and Joker. What else they got here? There's a sketch card by someone. I don't know who that is. And another auto. So yeah, that's it. Just a little preview. Little teaser. They're just teasing us.
Yeah, nothing crazy. I would say the backscatters and the sketches are going to be interesting, and those autos.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Suspended animation. I like those. Those are going to be interesting. Yeah.
Some of the other ones, I like to wait to see either like a breaker or whatnot person open them up just to kind of see, because sometimes they look whack on the sales sheet, and then you see them in person and they hit them.
They're like sick. Yeah. But that's like it's going to actually come out in January, not in December. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, speaking of Dragon Ball with the Fusion, Dragon Ball Daima, the new anime comes out on the 18th.
Oh, does it?
Next Friday.
What do you know what channel or what service it comes on?
No, but if I have to assume, it's going to probably be Crunchyroll, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
I've seen a lot of those figures. They look dope.
Yeah. It might even release like on like the mainstream. It might even be on Netflix when it comes out. Who knows?
That'd be dope if it is.
But also, hey, listen, I've been gaming a little bit, so I've been enjoying that. Like like I mentioned to you guys, getting a little back into that, and just having a good time, casual. Play a little ranked here, whatever. But Dragon Ball Striking Zero just dropped on pre-order, and I don't know if you guys seen gameplay.
Yeah, I saw a preview for that. I was watching. Shout out to all the wrestling fans. I was watching the wrestling event, and they were showing it. It looks sick, bro.
It looks sick. Definitely interesting. There's a lot of hype and a lot of buzz around it. So, again, just been exploring like different things, man. it's been interesting to see. I'm not buying it right now. Again, just staying frugal, but
Yeah.
like it's a cool job. Like I saw the gameplay. I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's pretty dope.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'll check it out. The last Dragon Ball game I played was Dragon Ball Budokai. That's the last one I remember playing.
I believe I played that one too. Yeah,
that was dope.
That was sick. If you guys haven't checked out the Penguin Show, I've said it multiple times, bro. Y'all gotta check it out.
Like I was telling you guys at the beginning, I've been watching movies more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been getting back into movies. I saw that one, and then my girl's heavy into horror. Shout out to Johnny, who's into horror himself. But another one I watched with her was like Smile, and the sequel actually just came out in the theaters.
Those previews look creepy.
Yeah, I'm not into it, but I watched them with her, and it got interesting. I got into it for sure. I was vested like 15 minutes, 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
So I watched it, but it was it's definitely not for the faint of heart. Like I had to tell my daughter, you got to go chill out in the living room for a little bit with your tablet because you probably don't want some nightmares. But yeah, it's fun. Like
there's a lot of good shit out there right now.
There is, man, and yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of movies. One of the shout outs I want to do as far as movies go is Constantine 2 with Keanu Reeves. I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know if you guys ever saw the OG.
The first one, yeah.
The first one is dope as hell, man.
They're doing the second part, huh?
Yeah. So I can't wait.
I saw
but now you can't take away the stigma that he's just John Wick. He's just gonna be like John Wick with.
Well, he's also the one. You know what I mean? So he's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Put some respect on,
Yeah, watch your mouth.
Keanu. The John Wick, the ballerina one, the spinoff.
That looks dope too.
I know the Almas. Yeah, that one looks sick.
I like how they brought back the manager of the Continental and the host.
Yes.
I thought that was key. Like give us some familiarity if you're gonna throw in a spinoff because
and then he pops up in the preview.
That's what I'm saying. Trailer. That's what I like because sometimes people do spinoffs, man, and they switch up the whole rotation.
Yeah. Shout out to Tim. He sent it to me. He's a big John Wick fan.
Come on, Tim. You already know.
Speaking of
we're all John Wick fans here.
I'm just gonna watch episode 3. Conversation definitely.
You saw the first 2?
Yeah. I'm.
I mean, one of you. I forgot who of you shared some crazy fucking meme about.
No, that was James.
About the way he was acting, Colin Farrell, and what he used to walk like that. That was wild.
That was.
I don't know what's going on. Shout out to James on that.
Shout out to Vic. Shout out to Vic and the memes too. That's been hilarious though.
Yeah, Vic has been. Yeah, he sent me a couple of things. I need to reply. Shout out to Vic,
man. Other thing I would say, this is I would say a deep cut. Not for everyone, but I know we're 2 Mexicans, an honorary Mexican here.
I like that honorary.
I've been watching a Mexican show on Apple TV. I think it's called Midnight Family. It's a series and I believe it's based off a movie that's called Midnight Family, but I only watch the series. It's a family in Mexico City, DF, and it's. But I like watching some of these. It's in Spanish, so you're gonna have to get subtitles and shit. But it's about like ambulances, but there's not enough around, so there's like dedicated people who help out with their own ambulance. They're not licensed or anything.
Some Uber ambulances?
Yeah, so it's cool. It's a good series. I enjoy it so far. I think it's like 4 episodes in, but if you guys want to,
check something different,
watch some Mexican television, a nice series, Apple series, good budget. They have a whole episode like I don't know, earthquake, terremoto, and they kind of pay tribute to the 2017 one, the big one that happened in Mexico City, if you remember. So really good actors though. I'm enjoying it and just watching some.
I gotta check out a trailer or something for that.
Yeah, just watching. I'm always watching like English stuff. It's nice to see like different faces and like different languages.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of languages, I see some guy on my feed that comes up every now and then where this guy speaks like 6, 7 languages. And he loves showing that shit off, which I would too if I spoke 7 languages, right?
Yeah.
He's like in a foreign country and he likes to talk to foreigners. Yeah. And then they don't think that he's going to be able to speak their language. And chances are he knows the language they're speaking. And then it's always cool to see the surprise in their face, you know?
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, some people, you know, it'd be dope to, like, for example, learn like Vietnamese, Chinese, Cantonese, right? Japanese. Because, you know, some people say, you know, if you go get your nails, then you get to know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Wow. My girl
you want to know to check people. That's
no, that's not me. That's my girl. My girl okay. Yeah, I don't go get my nails then. Come on, watch your mouth. But,
I didn't mean
come on. You know he gets dragged out there, you know? Stop playing.
I just thought, Lucia right away just wants to catch people slipping on.
Well, I for sure want to catch people slipping. In this case,
instead of interacting,
it wasn't me.
Culture, you know, being, you know, hanging out with the people in their homeland. Nah, I want to catch someone slipping though.
Yeah, we'll see what they're saying. You know what I mean? You never know. But yeah, man. Any shout-outs or anti-shout-outs for you guys?
Yeah, let's start with shout-outs, anti-shout-outs. As always, Sergio, you're up first, though.
Why am I always up first, though, man? Yeah.
Because you're the most quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Shout-outs.
Yeah, dog.
You know. Shout out to the homies, man. Like as always.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That counts. That counts.
Listen, I wish I could be. I wish I could have been a little bit more like active in the hobby. But again, I'm just like taking a little. You know, a little. I don't know what's going on right now. You know.
Oh
like,
yeah.
If someone's hitting 101s, like I just don't know it. You know, like
I'm not as plugged in either. I'm kind of just looking at art.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you definitely know it. You were just telling us that those are who.
Well, it's because I talk to people who are.
Oh no, I was talking to Sergio. I thought he's the one who said it. My bad.
Oh, my bad, you're right. No, you do. You do follow like Baby Groot or someone because you are always like, oh, look at these people overpaying.
Yeah, but again, I haven't been posting stuff like that. But if I see something humorous, you know, that actually does like. You know,
yo, I'm gonna throw in something funny for you guys and those that don't know. If any of you have run into this shit's hilarious. But I'll be scrolling through my Explorer page, and I've told them about this before, but with other people, a specific other person that we'll just say looks into specific things. But sometimes it's awesome to like watch a random like World Star type video, and dude, every now and then I catch Sergio in the comments, and I'm like, fucking Sergio, dog. You know, throwing in his 2 cents and shit.
You gotta let him know.
And I always hit him with the like. You know what I mean? I'm always supporting the homies, dog.
You see it like I saw it.
But believe it or not, listen. Let me explain something. So hey, really quick. You know, usually I don't engage in. Like sometimes I might not even. No, hear me out. And we're all victims to this. We're all guilty of this. Sometimes we might scroll through something and not give it a like unintentionally, not even right. Like it's just like kind of like you're kind of going through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like my son's like, hey, for like engagement, you gotta like you gotta comment stuff. You know, not he's like it's not just like you posting. You know, and it stays between like our community. Like you gotta like sometimes you gotta throw some shit out there. Yeah. So that I see a video, I'm like, you know what, this is too good that I can't I can't control myself like that.
So your son's putting you up on game? Is that what I hear?
Yeah, dude, that's the new wave. Of course, you got
shout out to your son, dog.
Shout out to your son, dog.
Give him his props, bro. Yeah, give him his props,
because someone might not even be worried about it, but like if Jesus, left a little funny comment somewhere, it might be like, yo, hey, don't even worry, like, yo, let me go see, like, what his page is about. You know what I mean?
Well,
oh, hey, look, yeah, I see how it goes. Yeah, your marketing. Yeah, for sure.
We'll call it that for sure.
What about anti-shout-out, dog?
Where's your anti-shout-out?
I know you got some. You always have some.
Anti-shout-out. I was watching a Whatnot video.
Yeah.
The other day, randomly someone sent a link, just for show support. Like I opened it up, and I was just kind of confused because I'm like, what happened to the days of opening like packs?
Yeah.
I don't understand the game of like, choosing characters. And again, listen, this is no offense to anyone. It's just I'm just, obviously I don't have an understanding of it because I don't partake in it.
Yeah.
But I just don't like we're paying for characters inside of like packs. So like if you hit a dud, like like that's
case breaks.
I don't understand.
Yeah, bro. The days from like shout out to Ian. The days from Cards of Metal IG to now, it's way different, bro. They got like digi breaks, which I don't ask me what it is because I still don't know. They got like character breaks. They got like some people still sell packs here and there, but like it's rare now.
Next thing you know, they're gonna do horoscope breaks. They're gonna look up the character's date of birth. You know what I mean? I just gave them an idea. Crazy. I'm sure someone's gonna do that. I'll do my anti shout out first because this pissed me off. But I was first actually my shout out because it's tied in. Shout out to the homie Sal. Well, I always have great conversations with.
Sal. Yeah.
I went into the shop this week.
Yeah,
shout out to Sal, dog. I went into the shop this week and he was finishing up his previous client. And, I know everybody in the shop. He's the owner for everybody that doesn't know his own barbershop. And him and his brother, Omar. Shout out to Omar. And I was waiting for him, and I was talking to one of his coworkers there. And this guy is an artist. He draws as well. So I was like, oh, shit, cool. Let me see what you got. And he was drawing some, and the guy got talent for sure. Way better than 80% of the sketches we see on these sketches being pulled for sure. So, I'm chopping it up with him. And then he's all, you into art? Yeah, so I show him some of my pieces, and then I'm showing him, the stuff that I collect, right? And I'm thinking like, well, he likes artwork. And then he goes, oh, no, dog. He goes, oh, you're just into like comic artwork and anime? He goes, that's for kids. And I'm like, you fucking watch your mouth. And then, and then he goes on to say, no, I'm into real art. And I'm like, what is that? He goes, oh, I'm into nothing but like the old school Renaissance type of shit. I'm like, fuck out of here with your Renaissance shit. Ain't nobody trying to see that, dog. Who's trying to? Yeah, dog. Yeah, that fool got me.
He's over there.
Couldn't wait for that to shout out.
They're looking at old ass portraits, dog. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, and he was trying to tell me about art. I was like, I don't want to hear that shit, dog. There's a reason why no one draws like that anymore. You know what I mean? And shout out to the people that enjoy it. If you want to get a commission piece to look like some fucking shit that doesn't resemble your family members, that's cool, dog.
Victorian
by all means. Yeah, Victorian. Shout out to the Victorian era for sure. But don't fucking tell me my shit is childish, dog. Watch it out.
Make me a Renaissance painting with Batman, dog. I'll be impressed. You feel me?
Yeah, it'll probably look like some Bill Sinkovich type shit, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's my shout out and my anti shout out.
Nice, I enjoyed that one. Shout out to the homies. Some of the homies got some sketches lately. You've seen some Sienkiewicz posting some sketches. Shout out to them. They got some nice pieces.
Shout out.
Anti shout out, bro. It's a lot. Yeah, I know this is gonna upset Vic because Vic wants real anti shout outs, and I'm trying to pick a spot here. I don't have a specific I guess anti shout out to
those PSA graphic designers.
Like anti shout out to people who try to be an expert on everything, bro. Like I'm not an expert on anything, but damn sure I know my place. I just hope people would be more mindful of that. And like let the experts do their own shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't need too much. That's gonna come across bad, but like I'm just saying, like, let people do what they excel at. You know what I mean? Like
I was about to say some crazy shit right now.
Don't say no crazy shit. Definitely shout out to everyone who's been supporting. That makes us keep coming back to talk, and shout out to anyone who enjoyed the talk today.
Yeah,
I know it's a different type of talk. And if you guys think of those type of topics, and you think of your collections that way, I'm interested. Like,
let us know,
bro. Leave a comment. Like, let's talk about the real collecting shit.
And another thing, man, I'll end it with this too. Like, let us know if you guys are interested in any kind of topics. Would you guys be interested in that video I mentioned of us digging? We could do one where you get to see each one of our perspectives and the way we do our digging. I think that'd be fun. Sergio might black out his screen, but but that'd be fun. But I also wanted to say this, man, because this was on my mind this week, and this is just on a grateful note, not even positive, actually. But there's a lot of wars going on all over the world for bullshit. Either just all kinds of proxy wars and all kinds of stuff. But I'm grateful, man, that we get to do this during peaceful times, because when you see movies like when motherfuckers were rushing down the beach of Normandy, like those motherfuckers didn't even have a chance to enjoy their lives or see their kids or nothing. So the fact that we get to live during a peaceful time, but we still have shit to complain about, it's crazy. The fact that we get to just sit back and collect and enjoy life to the best of each our abilities, I'm just grateful for that, man, because at any point, any real war could break out. And then all this shit don't matter at that point.
No.
All this matters when there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that.
For sure.
Thank God for that.
Shout out to peacefulness for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's it. I think we did enough this week.
100%.
I hope we didn't piss off too many people.
And if we did, just check your feelings.
Just send all your hate mail to Sergio this week.
Sergio's
our Monster in the Iron Mask. He's our PR.
Typical. Listen, as much as these guys talk whatever, mainly, you guys don't know this, but I'm the therapist. I'm usually like the therapist in the crew, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you were this week. Well, but at least it was too. I think we have our own share of therapy.
Yeah. I mean,
we have assists. You know what I'm saying? We do assist. I'm a Sergio.
Shout out to Sergio.
We've done definitely his side of therapy, but his therapy, let's be honest, we hear him out on his personal stuff, so that's why you guys don't know. But we're definitely his therapist as well.
For sure. Let's not talk about certain topics because
for sure
he will sound unreasonable. Yeah.
Shout out to love because it still exists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shout out to love, dog. Right, Sergio?
Let's love each other, guys.
All right, bro. All right, man. Peace.
Peace, guys.